Well, look who's back with us. He's Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, love your writing, love your columns. So, Joe, what do you make of this? We've got New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. New York Times asked her a question: why have you not gone to the southern border under Biden as you did under Trump? You know, she just started talking about how she's visiting other New York City facilities. So is she just using the border and migrants as pawns, political pawns, to score political points against Trump? What's going on here?
Oh, Liz, she has for years, and AOC is a liar. Let's call it for what it is. She says that a visit to the border is something, quote, we're actively planning on. Was she actively planning on wearing an all-white outfit again, complete with the hair and makeup right out of the Oscars? Will a photographer just happen to be there to caption the raw, totally, there it is, unrehearsed moment? Because that wasn't acting or anything. I mean, she's had 2.5 years under this administration, Liz, to take a flight down to Texas or Arizona, but instead she's constantly playing on Instagram like a teenager suffering from attention deficit disorder. And she's never going to go to the border in that outfit with the photographer because she's a phony on this issue. She doesn't care about sex trafficking of children. She doesn't care about the 100,000 adults being killed by fentanyl every year. She doesn't care about the hundreds that have crossed into this country illegally who happen to be on the FBI terror watch list. To go to the border, that would require her holding a Democratic administration accountable. And this is a person who ultimately is about power, holding on to it, and her own massive ego based on these photos that she took a couple of years ago, pretending to care.
You know, so, Joe, we've got that. And then you've got RFK Jr. saying there are 12,000 children in facilities that are sort of caged and fenced in, and 85,000 children are missing. So where's the Democrat outrage over that?
If Trump were in office, I'm sure we would see the outrage, but now it doesn't suit them politically, so suddenly the caring and the talk goes away. And by the way, where is the border czar on all of this? Kamala Harris, the vice president, took one 5-minute trip to the border about a year ago, and she hasn't spoken about it since. The president of the United States, same deal, never speaks about this issue. Maybe that's because the Biden administration is polling in the 20s when it comes to handling of the border or lack thereof of this border. 7 million people have entered this country under this administration illegally. Think about what 7 million is. That's more than the total population of 38 individual U.S. states. Our health care, our education resources are being overrun and exhausted. But hey, there's an election coming up, so at least one side of the political aisle is going to turn a blind eye to this because it hurts them politically. They simply don't care. There's a humanitarian and national security crisis at the southern border. Yet no one is, everybody's apathetic at this point.
You know, and Joe, it's interesting what you're saying, because you see what nobody's talking about in cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York City is they had to spend billions of dollars to accommodate Biden's border collapse. So people's property taxes are going to go up.
Precisely. In New York City alone, it's going to cost $4 billion to house and feed and take care of all these folks. The budget for the homeless, the people that live here, American citizens, is only $171 million. So think about that. $4 billion for illegals, $171 billion for the actual homeless and taking care of our own. And oh, by the way, veterans that are in the street as well. So that's where we are at this point. Priorities all out of whack, Liz.
Probably not just property taxes, probably income taxes. You know, Joe, final word. We started out the show saying this White House is an historical failure because this White House makes people feel less safe. It's not rocket science, but the media doesn't get it. Some of the media don't. What do you think?
No, they don't. And look, that's minorities in urban environments who don't feel safe as far as crime. It's as far as the economy and inflation, and suddenly they're paying a lot more for things than they had before this administration took office. They see a wide open border. They see parents not having rights in education. They see an ongoing war in Ukraine that has no end. So as far as feeling safe and feeling things are going the right direction, it's the exact opposite, Liz.
Joe Concha, you're terrific. Hope to see you soon.